That sucked.
That's what?
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so like it would start off in sync, and then after about 10 seconds, so. And then this I just put up behind me. You've been here. You know, there's like a thing, a collage thing.
There's a collage with lots of interesting pictures.
Yeah, but
and now it looks like you slayed. Is that Tigger? And you peeled his skin off and threw it up on the wall. It's pretty awesome.
This is like 9 feet by 9 feet of just like tiger fur.
Yeah.
That I got for like $20 downtown at the Fabric District.
Nice.
And for a while when I was in the shack, my old place, this was my carpet.
Ah.
And when I moved in here, I just folded it up. But I hung it up right here just to deal with the reverberation. Okay. Try and cut down that.
Nice.
So.
What did the ladies say at the shack regarding the large animal fur?
Oh God.
On the ground.
The shack was very embarrassing because. Number one, it was literally a shack.
Oh, no.
It was... Were you ever at my old place?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we would always, like, go to a restaurant or something.
Yeah, there was a reason for that. It was, like, right by Sunset and Bronson.
Okay.
And this Armenian family, they owned a big house, and they had, like, a little tool shed in back. And they figure, we'll make some more money, we'll convert it into like a studio apartment.
Oh, wow.
And it was a nice conversion.
Yeah.
But it was a shack.
Okay.
So it was very small, very cramped.
Yeah.
No air conditioning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Love it.
And so, and I would brag to women, I would be at bars like, oh yeah, I live in the heart of Hollywood. Oh great, how much? Like, oh, $700 a month. That's amazing. And then they'd come back and they'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
And they'd look around like, oh.
Nice.
But, you know, it's Hollywood, so if I've already gotten them there, they figure, well, I'm here already.
Into the tiger's lair.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It got so cramped that at one point I just brought in, I got this thing off of, again, Goodwill find.
Okay.
Vintage 1950s set. 4 chairs and a table.
Oh, nice.
Cheap, Goodwill.
Nice.
Brought it to my place, and I got to go and look out over the garden via the patio. And so I would just put it out there, and it was there for like over a year when it rained and shit. So,
yeah.
So there was rust on it by the end, but...
Nice. It's not rust then, it's weathering.
It's weathering.
That's right. You're adding character.
Yeah. Where is...
Well, not to cut you off, but I've got
I want to hear about the worst place you've ever lived in.
Okay, and there's a buddy of mine that I'm working on a project with right now, or we're developing a project, and he knows exactly the place that I'm talking about, and I saw an ad for it, and it seemed like too cheap, and it was really, I'll just say Burbank adjacent.
Okay.
And so I showed up just literally out of the blue. I didn't think that I was going to do it, and all of a sudden I'm walking in, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm doing this. And I remember I walked in.
When you say you're walking in, you're moving in?
No. I walked into the complex. It's this big complex.
Okay.
And they call it a hotel. Right, so the name of it's a hotel. So immediately I'm like, hotel? Wait a second. Okay, they're advertising like these suites. Not suite. What do you call it when you stay in when it's one big square, and it's bathroom right there, kitchen right there. A bachelor
Gotcha.
apartment.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, it's an apartment building. And I show up, and it has the name motel, and I'm thinking, okay, why do they have to call it that? And why can't they call it apartment? So I walk in, and I smelled food, incense, and weed at the same time. Right when I walked in, and I was like, whoa, what's all this? So so I come in and the lady at the front, who was I'll just say, okay, she wasn't friendly. I'll just say that. I'll just say she wasn't friendly. But she's like, oh, you want to see the room? Oh God, this story is just terrible. Yeah. Oh man,
you got here, man. You're already here.
So I go and check out the room, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, well, it's not absolutely crappy, and I could probably stick around for maybe a month, maybe just kind of hang out and then bounce somewhere else if possible. And so I go and I give my deposit. She gives me a key, and then she says, well, there's parking around back. If you get here early, you can get a parking spot. And I didn't know what that meant. And then I walked around the side, and I saw this 20-foot fence with barbed wire on the top. And that was that's where you were supposed to park. And I'm thinking, why would you need barbed wire to protect cars? I had no idea why. And then I saw why. The neighborhood, it wasn't terrible. It's not terrible. And the people who were there are actually nice, and there's families and all this kind of stuff. But you know how the mind works, You see something like that, you're already assuming the worst. So anyways, I pull my car in, I start moving stuff in, and I remember I got in and I turn on the television and I spin the TV around, and I don't even know if I should say this. Say it, come on, man. I spin the TV around, and thugs, they'll go into bathrooms and they'll take a knife or a razor, and they'll tag their name or do, stuff like that. They'll put writing on the wall or on the mirror. Well, this was on the side of the television. And it said 187, which is the police code for homicide. Right. And it said the assumed N-word. I remember
it's okay, you're black. You can say it.
I've been sanctioned. I have the black card.
Yes.
I have the black card. And I just remember looking at it, and the first thought that went through my head was, okay, who saw that I moved in here? And who wrote that on the side of the TV? And of course, my black conscious side comes back and says, no, sir, you cannot consider yourself that word. But, other people, you can't control what other people think.
Right.
So immediately I'm like, holy crap. Okay, what's going on here? Did somebody come in while we were gone and write this on the side of the thing?
So this is your TV?
No. They had TVs in the room, like big, ugly old TVs.
So that thing might have been there for like 3 years.
It might have been there for 3 years, but I didn't know that.
Right.
So I'm thinking, okay, there's something going on that I don't know about. So I'm having this I'm scaring myself. Not scaring myself, but I'm like, I'm a little on edge, I'm like, do I have to protect myself? That was the beginning. That place had, that place had roaches. I never, ever in my life, I was in battle, day in and day out. I had
the roaches?
I had the motels, the roach motels. I had the sprays. I had the whole thing. This was when I knew I had to move out. It was at one time at 4:00 in the morning, the neighbor upstairs and to the right, I could hear him. Oh, jeez. And I knew that a roach got him in the bed. Oh. And he woke up and saw a roach or felt a roach on his body. Oh. Because you could hear just like, what the and he throws stuff and what? There's all this noise and commotion, like 4:00 in the morning, and I'm turning like, really, dude? Like, what's going on? The very next day, there was exterminator and all that kind of stuff. Right. But I guess on a scale of things, it's not that bad, and there's people in parts of the world that are living far worse than that.
That's true.
And so ultimately, I can't complain, and I'm just being a sissy whiny baby about it, but it was an interesting experience. I'll definitely say that. I've been going on for way too long about roaches.
It's okay. It's okay. So let's backtrack then.
Okay. To the beginning? So, let's erase all of that.
Let's go over the story of how we met.
Okay.